You are the company that you keep. If so, what about the content that you consume? Hi, and welcome to the Law Simplified, the world's largest independent online law school platform. I'm your instructor, Shaveen Bandaranaike. When it comes to law and the study of it, subsequently the actual practice of it, oftentimes students as well as professionals think to try and consume as much of legal knowledge as well as practical exposure as possible. What this means for students, for example, is to try and buy all of the textbooks that they can find, try and subscribe to as many online libraries through their university or institution as well as privately, as well as try and either purchase or consume as much of legal content as possible. This YouTube channel as well as the online law school platform included. But oftentimes, this might not necessarily be enough in order to surpass that of most other professionals and successful entities in terms of the law. If you like the type of content that I make, do subscribe to the Law Simplified channel and leave a comment below so that I'll have an idea of what other types of content may be helpful to you. Make sure you visit the comprehensive online law school platform, complete with theory, tutorial, and workshop lessons based on the actual one-on-ones that I had conducted with first-class law students from all over the world. Now, the reason for this video is primarily because I've noticed students as well as professionals tend to compartmentalize their content when it comes to studying on the one hand, as well as exposure and experience in terms of the practice on the other. And what I mean by this is they tend to have specific times allocated for each individual task. Now, granted, from the perspective of preparation, from the perspective of scheduling oneself, this is completely fine and it's in fact anticipated from any professional. But sometimes, in order to eat, sleep, and breathe law, means to go that extra step beyond that. Now, oftentimes I've noticed, especially from a younger student perspective, the consumption patterns online in terms of social media, in terms of the various platforms that they peruse, tend to be relatively superficial. And this is completely fine when you want to essentially clear your thoughts, clear your mind, and just switch off for a bit. But oftentimes, what we fail to realize is that social media also provides an opportunity for us to really level up, so to speak, in terms of our legal prowess. Have a look at various educational, legal, argumentative, even podcast-based channels on YouTube, for example. I'll leave a few interesting ones in the description below. And if you were a fast track or a masterclass student of mine, especially someone who had followed, for example, jurisprudence or public law, you would have heard me ad nauseum recommend not just playlists, but also entire channels on YouTube that you should often try and peruse and absorb from. Now, subscriptions aside, this is true for most other platforms as well. Try and surround yourself with news, articles, and on top of that, doing so on a regular basis actually helps the algorithm of most of these social media platforms that you are a member of to feed you more relevant content. What do I mean by this? Usually, the type of content that you consume mostly is what then subsequently gets recommended to you. It can be YouTube, it can be Instagram, it can be even TikTok. They will essentially, by virtue of AI and machine learning, figure out what type of content that you prefer to see, and they'll churn out the same types of recommendations over and over again. So, the more that you watch enriched legal, educational, and thought-provoking content, the more that will be recommended to you. Right. This video was meant to be a gloss over how we can shape our patterns of online consumption to essentially level up when it comes to our legal education as well as the professional practice. Just like they say that you are the company that you keep, it is also the content that you consume that frames your professional and academic careers. That being said, until the next time that we meet, have fun, stay safe, and as always, obey the law.